Question 11. This comes from tangent and normal, and the question is, you are being provided a curve, and on this curve there is a point A comma B. On this curve there is a point A comma B at which the tangent is parallel to the line joining these 2 points. Now the points are 0 comma 3 by 2 and half comma 2. So the slope of the tangent should be this, right? So this is nothing but 1. So the derivative of the curve should be 1. Now let's put y dash as 1. So cos y is 0. Now when cos y is 0, so the point of contact is A comma B. So essentially cos B is 0. And you know, when cos B is 0, either this position or this position will suffice. That is sin B is equal to plus minus 1. Now B is equal to A plus sin B. So B minus A is equal to sin B. And there are 4 choices given. You can see the third one. The third choice is mod sin B, which is for sure modulus is going to be 1. So that's your third choice. Now let's have a look at the other choices as well. Now why not B is equal to A? Let's explore it. When cos B is equal to 0, now B could be either pi by 2 or it could have been minus pi by 2, right? If B is pi by 2, then pi by 2 barabar x, then this is the deal, right? When B is pi by 2, this is your A and that's your 1. So A is equal to pi by 2 minus 1. And when B is minus pi by 2, so when B is minus pi by 2, what is A? A is equal to 1 minus pi by 2. So in either of these cases, the first choice is wrong, A barabar B, because if B is pi by 2, then A is this. If B is minus pi by 2, then A is this. Now B choice, second choice says that B minus A is equal to pi by 2. Then obviously this is wrong, right? B minus A is not pi by 2. And here also B minus A is not pi by 2. So the second choice is also wrong. The fourth one, A plus B is equal to 1. Now if you were to add these two, A plus B doesn't turns out to be 1, right? So the fourth choice is also wrong. So the only correct option is the third one. And I believe it is a moderate problem. Why I'm not terming it as easy? Because here whenever trigonometry is entailed in some questions, students tend to have a knack of getting confused unnecessarily. Here the students, while taking the cases, might goof up something and might not put B and A over here, and you have to have a just a little sharp look, astute look, that B minus A is naturally coming out from this curve only, and in third choice they are themselves talking about B minus A. So let me rate this problem as a moderate one. Now let's begin with question 12. Now this is from tangent and normal, and it's a very straightforward question. A parabola is given to us and we are supposed to draw a normal at point P, at which point, the point which is nearest to this line. Now the point which is nearest to this line is along the common normal. So the tangent at P will have a slope of 3. Now what is the slope? The slope is this. Hence the abscissa turns out to be minus 2. So by plugging in minus 2 over here, you get minus 8. So the equation of normal that we are supposed to find is nothing but y plus 8 slope. The slope of the tangent is 3. So minus 1 by 3 x plus 2. Just cross multiply it and you are going to get the answer. So I will rate this problem as a very easy one. This is a regular concept, and most of the students would have scored in this one. This 13th question is from vectors, and what does it say? That you have to find, essentially you have to find the equation of a plane. There is a value addition that you have to first find the equation of the plane, and then the choices are which all points satisfy the plane. So once you have found the equation of plane, you can just plug in the first choice and see whether it's satisfying the equation, or the second choice is satisfying, or the third choice, or the fourth choice. Essentially there are going to be infinite points which satisfy the plane, right? So the main intellectual bottleneck over the question in the question is that you have to find the equation of plane. Now what all information have they given in order for us to find the equation of plane? They have said that there is a line which is parallel to the plane. So this is a line which is parallel to the plane. Now what is this line? 2x barabar 3y, z equal to 1. So let me just get it in symmetrical form. So that's the symmetrical form. Oh, let me make it more tidy. Let's divide by 6 over here. X by 3, y by 2, z minus 1 by 0, right? Okay. And here there are 2 points that are given. 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2. These are the 2 points. So we can find the equation of normal, right? So this vector is lying in the plane and this vector is parallel to the plane. So what is going to be the normal vector? The normal vector is going to be 3i cap plus 2j cap plus 0k cap cross this vector. And this vector is I cap minus j cap plus k cap. I have essentially subtracted these 2 points, right? So I cap minus j cap plus k cap. So let me first get the vector I cap, j cap, k cap, 3, 2, 0, 1 minus 1, 1. So I cap is 2 I cap minus j cap minus 3j cap. Then the k cap is minus 3 minus 2 minus 5 k cap, right? So what is going to be the equation of plane? The equation of plane is going to be 2x minus 3y minus 5z equals to lambda. Essentially the coefficients of x, y, z are the direction ratios of the normal vector. So this is the deal. Now from where lambda will be obtained? Either you will satisfy 1 to 1 or 2, 1, 2. Let me satisfy 1 to 1. So 1, 2, 1, that is lambda. And here you are going to get lambda equals to minus 9. So the equation of plane is 2x minus 3y minus 5z plus 9 equals to 0. Once you get the equation of plane, as I said before, you have to plug in first choice, second choice, third choice, and here you can see that the second choice satisfies it. So it is moderate to tough because it entails some understanding and you have to just convert this asymmetric to the symmetric one. So more towards moderate, but certainly not an easy one. Let's begin with question 14 now. Now 14 problem, there is a quadratic that is given to us 5x square plus 6x minus 2 equals to 0 and there are two roots to it, alpha and beta. And then they have defined Sn is equal to alpha n plus beta n. Now this is a very mundane problem now. Initially it used to be a novel one, but from I think so past 6-7 years such questions have asked repeatedly. So although this is a tough category, but we have also trained our students. So for our students, I believe it's going to be very easy, but I will rate this question as a tough one. So we have to find a reduction formula among the choices. So essentially alpha satisfies it, right? So just multiply by alpha ki power n minus 2. So this is what we are going to get after multiplying with alpha ki power n minus 2. A similar question we are going to get in beta also, a similar equation. All we need to do is add. So 5 times Sn plus 6 times Sn minus 1 minus 2 times Sn minus 2. This is a reduction formula and as you can see the choice, that's your first choice. So as I said, for the students, we have been taking these in the classes and it is there in the modules as well. But for those who are looking at it for the first time maybe, or may not have gone through the JEE training and coaching, this is a tough one. Now question 15 is from relations. From past couple of years, JEE mains were skipping relations. So those aspirants of 2020 who might have just thought that the fashion will continue might got in trouble with this question. Else this question is quite easy. Now what's this question? A relation is given as you can see and they've asked us to find the domain of R inverse. Now certainly if this is your relation, right? So this is the range and this is the domain and the inverse is going to be this. So the domain is going to be this and range is going to be this. Essentially, in order to find the domain of R inverse, we have to find the range of R. That's it. So the set of values of y. Set of values of y in x square plus 3y square less than equal to 8. Now x is an integer. So let's put x is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 is no use because it will breach 8. So here y square is less than 8 by 3. Here y square is less than 7 by 3. And here y square is less than 4 by 3. So the possible values of y is 0 and plus minus 1, and plus minus 2 is not possible, right? Because it is 2 point something. Here the possible values is 0 and plus minus 1, and here again what's possible values is only this. So in all three cases we get the set of values of y to be plus minus 1 and 0. So we have to correct the second choice. So this is a easy problem. The only toughness would be if you would have not looked at the relations in the last moment, thinking that it has not been coming from quite some time. Now let's talk about question 16. Now this is the second question from sequence and series. Usually it is a little awkward thing that they have asked two questions. Typically they asked only one. And so the question is, the product of three terms in a GP is given to be 27. So this is imperative for us to assume the three terms to be in this fashion. Now the product is 27. So essentially you get A barabar 3. Now what are they asking? They are asking us to find the range of first three terms, sum of the first three terms. So the sum of first three terms is going to be this, right? So thrice into 1 plus r plus 1 by r. Now we are very much acquainted with this one, that the range of this expression is minus infinity to minus 2 union 2 to infinity. This every student must remember if you don't remember this one. So the range is 3 into, what is this bracket all about? Just add 1 over here. Minus infinity say minus 1 union 3 say infinity, right? So the range is what? Minus infinity say minus 3 union 9 say infinity. So that's your fourth choice. Now this is a moderate problem, I would say. Why I'm not calling it as easy? Because the only step which I fear is this one. If at all we don't remember, then we have to work a little bit. It is also not a big deal to find the range of r plus 1 by r. But in principle, it is easy for those who remember these few results. So it is biased towards easy more than moderate rather. Okay. Okay, let's begin with question 17. Now this is a direct question from Conics. There have been a couple of more questions in Conics this year, but this is one of the very direct questions. So the question is, we have to find, there is a parabola that is given to us. This is the hyperbola. And now a tangent on this hyperbola has a slope 2, right? This is what is given. The point of contact is x1, y1, and they have asked for x1 square plus 5y1 square. So let us first differentiate it. So we get y dash is nothing but 2. So let me put y dash as 2, right? So what you are going to get is this thing, x1, y1, that is the point of contact. x1 is equal to 4y1. Now x1, y1 also satisfies this. So 16y1 square minus y1 square by 2, this is 7. So we get y1 square is equal to 2 over 7. So this is your plus minus, right? Now what is your x1? x1 is 4 times. So plus minus 4 times root of 2 by 7. Now they are asking us x1 square plus 5y1 square. This is just a way of formulating an answer. Now what is x1 square? 16y1 square, right? And what is y1 square? We'll put it later. So 21 into y1 square. Now y1 square is 2 by 7. So 3, that is 6. And among the choices, it is a second choice. Now this is an easy problem, and I believe that the students must have scored in this question. Now this comes from the house of inverse trigonometric functions, and the question, as you can see, is of inverse trigonometric function is given to you upon x square plus 1, and we are being asked the domain. We have to find the domain. Now they have expressed the domain as minus infinity say minus a union a say infinity, and then we have to find what is the value of a. So we know that the input of sine inverse will be what? Minus 1/7. So let me put minus 1/7 with an equality sign. Now we can cross multiply the denominator because essentially it's positive, and it is you can always note that this is a positive quantity, right? So the solution of this is r. All you need to do is to just work on this solution. Now what is this one? Mod of x plus 5 is less than x square plus 1. So x square minus mod x minus 4 is greater than equal to 0. So mod x is equal to 1 plus minus root 17 by 2. So by wavy curve method, you can solve this inequality as mod x belongs to minus infinity say 1 minus root 17 by 2 union 1 plus root 17 by 2 till infinity, right? Now this is always negative. Mod x cannot belong to a negative set. Hence you can revise this as mod x belongs to 1 plus root 17 by 2 say infinity. Hence x belongs to minus infinity say minus of 1 plus root 17 by 2 union 1 plus root 17 by 2 say infinity. Hence a is 1 plus root 17 by 2. So just mark out first choice as an answer. This is again a easy to moderate one. The only logic of giving it as a moderate rating is student might tend to think, let me make two cases, x is positive, x is negative, and unnecessarily they will elongate the problem. The second logic of me being marking this as moderate is student might unnecessarily burn time in solving this one. So the moderate goes because student may increase the length of the question. Otherwise, it's a easy one. So 19th question is on complex numbers, and we have to just simplify this complex number into a plus iota b form. So let me just first copy the question. It's a whole cube over there. Sine 2 pi by 9 minus iota cos 2 pi by 9. Essentially, there are two school of thoughts that work in it. You can consider this as a plus iota b, p plus iota q, and then can multiply with the conjugate of p plus iota q, that is p minus iota q, and can solve it. Or you can just first take iota common, and this is going to be cos of 2 pi by 9 minus iota sine 2 pi by 9. I am working in direction of converting it to Euler's. I always advise my students to go for Euler. I personally find Euler to be very time saving method, provided you know the correct application of it and how to play around with it, right? So this is the thing, whole cube. So what you can write it as 1 plus iota, this is minus 2 pi by 9, and 1 minus iota 2 pi by 9. Iota is nothing but e ki power iota pi by 2. So 1 plus, so pi by 2 minus 2 pi by 9. I am writing iota as e iota pi by 2, right? So these will get subtract the arguments. So 18, 9 minus 4, that is 5 pi by 18, right? So iota 5 pi by 18, and here you're going to get what? 1 plus e iota minus pi by 2 and e iota 2 pi by 9. So again they will get subtracted. So 1 plus minus iota 5 pi by 18, right? So let me call theta as 5 pi by 18 to clear up the problem. So z is essentially, it is a whole cube over here, 1 plus e iota theta upon 1 plus e iota minus theta over 3. Let me take e iota minus theta by 2 common. So essentially we are going to get this thing, right? Here also we take e iota theta by 2 as common. So this is what we are going to get. And whole cube, that we'll solve later. So you're going to get e iota theta, and this is going to be what, 2 cos theta by 2 upon 2 cos minus theta by 2. It is essentially the same thing. Ka whole cube, that is e iota 3 theta, right? Now what is theta? 5 pi by 18. So it is e iota 5 pi by 3. Sorry, 5 pi by 6. So cos 5 pi by 6, that is minus root 3 by 2 plus iota sine 5 pi by 6, that is this. So minus 3 by 2 plus iota by 2, that is your second choice, you can see. I will rate this problem as a tough one because it entails some calculations, and typically I have found that students don't prima facie apply Euler's method. They just like to apply the Cartesian one, that multiplying with the conjugate, and then it will entail very heavy calculations. Although this is also not a very easy calculation, so I will rate this problem as a tough one.